And then the Speaker of Parliament, Okasaye, the Santi Yawo Wofaya, Ewo Ahumai so Obabe Church and some way kakra a train says Speaker Nabayan, Asamen Okaye, Speaker Nabayan, that's more kind say, or no, he holds supremacy to the Constitution of Ghana, but not to any other human being. Sanoka, and he was talking about separation of powers. Say, Ghana Parliament needs to be respected. In terms of our mind, so Obabe Church remove kakra seni oti speaker na sem na FI no. Oba on abom zen.
Also,
ye US election no a surprise victory for former President Donald Trump. We're winning almost about 292 electoral votes as to 224 votes. Now, Ghana, so I think the Echna Parliament will reconvene Echna November the 7th. Now, and the speaker is here, reporters and journalists are lay out and Semba Kumi na only the NDC representative winning the echo so in Antino. The person can take his opportunity when I cover church match say assembling and a course so a year and then on of fire.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Mechia and Chedika, Mechia, a tear food in a near course in a brief year press conference, Speaker of Parliament, BAGBIN, FOD, just to enlighten or just to let already people know what is going on. But he actually wanted opposite press conference, in Central for Ghana for my radio multi near my personal. The big traffic in chain because about Parliament, I don't know Parliament. So there's it. He's the head of Parliament and the head of the legislature. And and near my cocoso and try ye so out no ba air now of French Central for no de nasema a one aim de two a drop. And no oye in there. Now oye no or start here no. Some more kind in now to music in effi your constitution. And we all know it's a parliament deal, they dwell or they use the constitution to work. It's not only parliament alone, even the executive and the judiciary, they have to use the constitution. And parliament in particular depends on the constitution a lot. Of parliament there is from the constitution. The constitution have allowed it, the constitution have made it down. Stated it cleared down. That is why they will do anything. And until our parliament are more standing on orders. Okay, that man said we by Mekacho said parliament was standing on orders. I don't know what the first would be to our parliament.
Yeah, I think they have rules. They have rules. They have standing orders.
Yes, BAGBIN. Marco Koyo near you. You have to follow the standing orders. And you know, being to me, baby, and the bomb and so kind of a. And you kind of state here very closely. The constitution is very clear about freedom of speech and proceedings of parliament.
Yeah.
As a now some okay, so you great through the UFA constitution is very clear about freedom of speech and proceedings of parliament. The idea when America and idea of that in piano or follow constitution. Constitution have laid down all those things. And you know. And if you want to article, you know, article 115 and article 116. And also no account of freedom of speech, freedom of speech to express yourself and stuff. So there's in parliament and within the country ourselves. And if we are confining or in parliament, 116 and also no, actually say, baby, no, there is nobody who can come from other this to come and lay this thing against any member of parliament. So they are saying, to say, because they are having, it's a business they do over there.
Yeah.
It's 116, does not allow Supreme Court to come from nowhere to come and lay sanctions.
They have something like immunity.
Immunity, thank you very much, which is the 116. So what does it? 115 allows them freedom of speech, as I stated. 116 is something like the immunity you are talking about. So nobody can come from outside, from the confines of Parliament, to come and lay this thing against any member in Parliament. And the members of Parliament, they must hold the Constitution together and must hold Parliament together. But also,
yeah,
and this article no a binding and also to me a barco. Was taking declared like who says as we my church would about and then why would we do it? We have to go further. And Nienkan and Numun Samankasa. My catcher said, Adia Babi and your body be annoyed because a idea a down a proceedings are I say. Obi ekasa to one to aso beboa ukaya Michael Kwe against Asinov as a vacancy beboa and the obi anka ho asem bia so
that's honorable Esiama.
Very good, yes, obi anka ho asem bia. And secondly, at a point in time onu BAGBIN na rule against Kennedy Japan a Joasafo and okay. And they are not moving Parliament to corner move as they were completely out of Parliament. Already, why is it that nobody cries foul out of those 3 seats now? BAGBIN said in declared vacant until they came later to let them know, address themselves. Kennedy Japan say also said no yare. Yare to Okosane who yare and my and then I say for which was true too. We heard about his sickness, about heart sickness in India, maybe. I just have also say our near you or Dobino.
Nothing's not or say or say like none.
Sure, and you know, he so say and by himself, no, I worry for France on to any Nikurunza better America, no Mujo Manicatra.
And the Yantrelli bizarre.
By himself, no more, no so catra, so I say them Maddy and to the emphasis and
yeah,
so I say it's allowed. And then they delay no, and I had recorded so I think no so yari also something like that happened to him. So to me a troco explain here what they say. Obia knew also recount once I'm saying because Supreme Court near it was understood. I seen off the end by and sa Obia and Franco Supreme Court. I didn't know we yet to me sorry, a member of Parliament because Supreme Court, that Supreme Court, so to me a court case, so within a short time, a ruling against. So they say, it is several questioning in an Hano, he's not happy. And was stated say in everything of Ghana first. So they say, and he is ever ready. The way BAGBIN hold the Parliament, so the union himself, BAGBIN has been one of the best. I'm saying it.
Yeah,
they have been speakers. But BAGBIN, it will be among one of the best speakers. For the short while, 4 years, 100. How he's the opposition leader. Meanwhile, look at the way he handled Parliament fairly. So they say he handled it fairly. And he's not happy with it. And what that he was trying to say, he said, the Supreme Court has erred. Supreme Court now erred. He even made it at a point in time, said the presidency and the Supreme Court should come to Ghanaians and apologize to Ghanaians because what they have done is not right.
Yeah.
I told you that. What the Chief Justice is not right. Even the former director of Ghana School of Law, he came out to say what the Chief Justice did is not right. It's like the whole thing has been political. And the Chief Justice and the Supreme Court tried to side with the government, neglecting Parliament, which is not good. It's like they are trying to do what? Because Akufo-Addo they are appointed into, they have to they are paying back to their paymaster. So what they say, which is not right. So what they say, because if you do that, it means that you undermine the Constitution. And you are also undermining the state. You are trying to be like you are a chief justice for the ruling government, which is not good. Under the Fourth Republic, we have never seen any government, either whether it's Rawlings 1 and 2, Kufuor 1 and 2. Me, I always pinpoint Kufuor because Kufuor was also MPP government. Have you seen it? So WOFA NDC inquire. See, I can say NDC me boy. But Kufuor, I always make reference to Kufuor. Say Ghana for and just Kufuor during Kufuor's rule, 8 years Kufuor rule. What was Kufuor? I used to Chief Justice be there suppressing Ghana. What was Kufuor used to Attorney General? They are suppressing Ghana.
No.
Kufuor rule use those things institution only appointed, but he used it across board on the ruling Ghana.
Yeah.
We never saw anything like this.
Yeah.
Why is this thing happening now?
Yeah.
It?
Yeah.
And this government have just been autocratic. And people that he appoint for work for him. They work for him. No, look at what Godfred Odami has done.
Yeah.
Disgraceful ever. He has disgraced the country internationally. A whole attorney general. You can imagine those of us in America. America 40 they have heard this. And yes, or Mutia.
Yeah.
Are they happy? Which attorney general in America will do this and will still be at post? But he's still there. And he was able to do all these things. And at the end, also about out, tarnishing the image of Ghana. It means that when they speak, say, Ghana, our judiciary is not working out. It is true. Because Dami himself has proved it up. And the thing went everywhere. Have you seen it? Look at what the Chief Justice is also doing. And the former Chief Justice also did the same thing. And the 7-0 rule. This one is also ruling 5-0. Meanwhile, when you look at the proceedings at the court at that time, when they rule 7-0, it shouldn't be like that. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
So they are trying to circumvent the whole thing in favor of the ruling government because he pays them, he appointed them. To it be like that? You can be appointed by the president and stuff, but you have to work for the state. Make sure that is why. So if we can't get justice from the Supreme Court, then when shall we get it again? Today, our court of law, all the courts have been corrupted by this government. What the government tells them is what they do. Have you seen it? And one stating clearly said the presidency and the Supreme Court, they should be ashamed of themselves of what they are doing and what what is going on. Because Akufo-Addo niema ekoso ni nyama ka tro Akufo-Addo na e ka kire omo di omo nye e na omo so ye so what they are saying enu na ma we nyina aba nti BAGBIN be kire mu no enu na ye nkire mu a wo de ba ye no nti some of what can say he believed in the supremacy of the constitution, not the supremacy of the Supreme Court. So they are saying there is nothing like Supreme Court supremacy.
So he's more talking about the law.
Supremacy, rather the supremacy of what? Of the Constitution.
Of the Constitution, which each and everyone have to abide by it.
Yeah, thank you very much. And you are stating it clearly, and it is very clear. It was very emphatic and clear because he believes in the supremacy of the Constitution, not the supremacy of the Supreme Court. Have you seen it? The Supreme Court does not supersede or doesn't come higher than the Constitution. The Constitution, it is the same Constitution that the Supreme Court must use to rule. And I told you that separation of power, the three arms of government, they are higher than the other. They work out, and if you are counting on position, BAGBIN is higher than the Chief Justice. When it is when BAGBIN is not there that the Chief Justice will be called upon. Have you seen it? So how can you come from somebody you are number 4 in the country? Akufo-Addo is number 1, but Umia is number 2. BAGBIN is number 3. You Chief Justice is your number 4. How can number 4 come and rule over number 3? Have you seen it before?
But I think that they are more about the interpretation of the Constitution. Into my main kind of view, I think it's Article 115, or say Article 115, or say freedom of speech and of proceedings. There shall be freedom of speech, debate, and proceedings in Parliament. So, which means when you talk about Parliament now, there is to debate and proceed in Parliament, and that freedom shall not be impeached or questioned in any court or place out of Parliament. That is whatever they discuss over there, they cannot be impeached because they are there to debate about issues.
Yes, and if you look at what the Chief Justice and the 7-5 panelists have done, they should sue them for contempt. For what they have done. Have you seen it? Because the article is saying it. The article has been very clear. So why do you come from nowhere to come and stampede what they have done? Have you seen it? Or to come and interrupt.
Make Article 116 so that at least
yes,
that our listener will also hear about it. Yeah. So Article 116 and also talks about immunity from proceedings for acts in Parliament.
Yeah.
So clause 1 also is subject to the provisions of this article, but without prejudice to the general effect of Article 115 of this Constitution, civil or criminal proceedings shall not be instituted against a member of Parliament in any court or placed out of Parliament for any matter or thing brought by him in or before Parliament by petition, bill, motion, or otherwise.
Yeah.
2, he said, whenever in the opinion of the person presiding in Parliament or statement made by a member in prima facie defamatory of any person, the person presiding shall refer the matter for enquiry to the Parliamentary Committee on Privileges, which shall report its findings to Parliament not later than 30 days after the matter was referred to. And you know, things like WOFA, and then speaker na asema na ono so no oguso or church maka ne say, or say, when you talk about Parliament now, they understand themselves.
Yeah.
They have proceedings, they have rules, they have regulations, and you know, they try to work hand in hand.
Yes.
And he feels that even this issue at stake, you know, say omode to omanka so mo anymore. Enka the leaders in various committees, you know, they can meet and they can resolve this issue without even proceeding to, you know, the Supreme Court. Because if anything government back say, oh yeah, no, say or the court, then he also made mention, say, even he being the speaker, no, there are certain things that it's like in democracy, you sometimes give concession, you sometimes give, and it will be certain things will also be given back to you. You don't just stand and say, this is the position that I'm taking. Because there are so many bills that came into Parliament that people say they were not going to even pass it. But at the end of the day, it passed because they work hand in hand. And you know, so we shall send the next speaker also no speaker also make it categorically clear, say he did not give ruling on the 4 MPs, no. Or say he did not give like a command. Like, because when you talk about ruling, it's like you are giving a command.
Yeah.
It's like it's a final. But according to him, no. Or say no. He read what is in their standing orders and came out and said, this is what it says. So it can also be exactly. Yeah. Inti nasa osha. I think that is it Afenya Markins and one to no boise rashi, and people also complaining and say, you know, they took issue to the Supreme Court by 12 p.m. By 2 p.m. no, there's a ruling.
Yeah, Do you know why it's like that?
I'm listening.
The reason is that you know, this current government, what presidency, like stacking the Supreme Court with MPP judges. Yeah. The High Court with MPP judges. They all know, say, in any case like this, when they go to the Supreme Court, even this case, it shouldn't have gone to the Supreme Court. It should have gone to the High Court. Yeah. But he went to the Supreme Court straight because he sees the court as the highest. Whatever they say, nobody can deny. Have you seen it? So he went there straight, and he knows that they are going to rule in their favor. That's why Markin Judge went there. He's a lawyer. He should have known better that he shouldn't have even gone to the Supreme Court. This is not a Supreme Court matter. It is the High Court that needs to interpret this. But he bypassed the High Court and went to the Supreme Court. Why? Because all judges there are MPP judges. So whatever they play there, they will just sit down and rule in favor of them. Because that is what I'm telling you, say, like BAGBIN was saying, the presidency and the judiciary should bow down their head in shame. They have failed, because what they are doing, they are not doing it in the interest of the nation. They are doing it in the interest of the party.
Okay.
And that is what the Chief Justice did. And that is what the majority leader also did. Because because he knows that when he goes there, anything you take there and it is in favor of the government, they will rule in favor of you. Even whether they are wrong, they will rule in favor. They will get judges that will sit down. They know that the thing should be black. They will say it's red. And once they tell you the Supreme Court has spoken, we have to accept it. That's why Benjamin Markin went there. Let me ask you this. Let me keep you. I'm up for Muti. Almost say, Nienti Amu, say the reason why you rule like that, and they say they can't deny those parliamentarians their constituency, they stand in parliament. Yeah. Ask them. Judge question. Was he not denied the whole assay of when
that's correct.
Denied 4 years?
Yes.
What have they done about it?
Yes.
Let's go to Lolobi, Akpafu, and Sar.
The Sar, yeah.
They have been denied 4 years, no representative.
Are
they not human beings?
Yeah.
Are they not human beings?
Yes.
But for those 4 there, so what they are saying. What have the Chief Justice that is even double standard. The Chief Justice have played the double standard over there. Have you seen the whole thing now? Because the question 4 years, as they not were denied. You people were holding the case, denying him not to go to parliament. Yeah. Today, some people are in parliament just for 2 months left. You say, who really the case about within 2 hours, who really that. Say the reason why they don't have to deny those people. Sal for the Omunyedipa. Yeah. Lolobi Akpafu and Lolobi Akpafu and say 3. Yeah. Three villages over there. Lolobi, Akpafu and Lipe, Sal. They have not gotten a representative for 4 years. And they are because it is your party. The way they are. Into all that they are doing, it is tarnishing the image of our country and tarnishing the image of the judiciary. And it is about being stating clear in a press conference. The presidency and the judiciary should come, they have failed and they should bow their head in shame. Because Akufo-Addo, orders, and he control them like a robot. Chief Justice will control you like a robot, and the same thing. Even if Akufo-Addo doesn't control them, they will do that because Omu party neutral power forever. Because he appointed them there. It's at the end of you and you ruling in favor. And that is what we have seen so far for the past 7 years. One will say Supreme Court the judgment beyond by a feather. All their judgments are fake. All Supreme Court judgment of the is fake interpretation. When you read into it, ultimately just because a Supreme Court and in your boy a new aqua pension. And then it is so, and I took also the same thing. And the unanimous 7, you appoint the same people that rule 7-0, you appoint 1, and yet the young couldn't trust on over the same thing because Omo here to favor Akufo-Addo and the party. So all that BAGBIN have said, sanity like we here cry a Canada meboa and BAGBIN so who share Omuni here and you quite almost fast to be handed judiciary na a BC that throughout the entire history of Ghana, even under the 4th Republic, government in Maya, when I must state Rollins 1 and 2, we never saw this. That time ni so abati e hu bibisa e koso anka Ghana for beka Kufo by 1 or 2 oye MPP ni Kufo government ye hu sa niema we basa yi say judiciary no e kasama Kufo aban adebi ode be ko no rule in favor ye hu bibia say Kufo attorney general or Wekima Kufo they work fairly for the state. Atameso by the same thing, Mahama by the same thing. Again, Akufo-Addo or no so no opposition or country say he's coming to rule with the rule of law. Rule of law is this rule of law? Is that how to rule with rule of law? Have you seen it? Anytime Akufo-Addo was in opposition, was speaking, it's like people in government were not ruling the government, the country with rule of law. And he is coming to bring rule of law. Because there will be rule of law. Rule of law. We better have gone back to wherever we were before he came into government. If we share a Nyama Ekosuna, Masa, Civil societies, you know, Omasheda no Mayo Manudi no Monka, this cancer and Casa, Christian cancer.
Oh, I think that Franklin Kujo, the last time Franklin Kujo Kasai.
Oh, I know, Franklin Kujo no Modio Casa make up peace cancer.
Yeah, peace cancer, yeah.
Christian Cancer in Ghana Bar Association.
Yeah.
Yeah. They won't talk, but these things they are supposed to be speaking. Because what is going on is not normal. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
That is what the Frenchman would say, bizarre. Totally appalling. But they are not talking. You can imagine these things were happening under Mahama. Every day, but under this government, you know, they are quiet. As for other civil society, they are saying it because they know it's not the right thing. So they say, but we want the key people now. They almost see for this thing, you know, which is the Ghana Bar Association, Ghana Peace Council, and what? Christian Council.
Christian Council, yeah.
Yeah. Two busum busum ben aba chance abawe busum ben chance abawe busum ben aba Ghana chance abawe ya yewi.
Well, but the main kind bibi kakra wa say near speaker eka ye no. According to speaker no na sama okan ebini or say there is no constitutional crisis in Ghana because you remember say when the Supreme Court were giving their ruling, you know, they were talking about there's a constitutional crisis in Ghana. So psychologically, exactly.
Yeah, okay. And there is no constitutional. I want to start here. Me if you work there is no constitutional. You see, one was some make also that one was some make one was a basic war. Because was any judgment on the baby a fake.
Yeah.
Say a constitutional crisis.
There's no constitutional crisis. Yeah.
They have created and a rule norm they are create fake. It's no more trans normal creative BBD. So I say, and the BAGBIN this also say it is not the Supreme Court who will decide who will be majority or who is be minority in Parliament. When we say Supreme Court that decided my country be Parliament, say woman are majority and woman are minority.
Oh no, because normally when it comes that they even sometimes form something like a coalition. Where two parties come together with one agreement. It even happens in Israel. It happens in South Africa.
Anything about me, I catch you say they have no right. And you are decide. They catch you say which side to be majority on it. To Corona is not the one who will decide for us who should be majority at the bench and who should be minority.
And being I think
that interference wrong person.
Yeah, and I think being a minority also in Parliament as a governing power, being the governing the ruling listen does not mean say like the proceedings or the work of government should not go on. Even in the US here currently, even the Republicans have won almost about 52 Senate seats.
You see,
and even like I'm saying maybe the Democrats not even won 48, so nobody even knows after the final count if they will win more seats or they will still remain. But even if you remain 48 and 52, it still changes the dynamics. So according to the speaker, the speaker says, the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable BAGBIN, has assured the media and the citizens that the current impasse in Parliament does not amount to a constitutional crisis.
Yes.
His remarks come after the Supreme Court recently ruled to dismiss the Speaker's attempt to overturn an earlier decision preventing him from declaring some 4 parliamentary seats vacant. Speaking with the media in Accra on November 6, 2024, Speaker BAGBIN said the situation could be addressed through mature deliberations. Listen to the catchword. Through mature deliberation instead of lawmakers resorting to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
That's where we dialogue. That's where diplomacy comes in. There's no constitutional crisis in this country. I repeat, there is no constitutional crisis in this country. He declared. He emphasized. Okay, so maybe what to ask me. I'll say he emphasized that Parliament has the constitutional right to revoke. Listen again and say or say Parliament has the constitutional right to revoke the seat of 4 MPs who have crossed party lines or declare their intention to run as independent in the upcoming election. He also accused the executive and the judiciary of colluding to undermine the authority of Parliament in the wake of recent development. Chief Justice Gertrude Tokunu recently described the parliamentary dispute concerning 4 seats declared vacant by the Speaker as a constitutional crisis that necessitates urgent resolution. During court proceedings on Wednesday, October 30, 2024, she expressed concern about what she viewed as a delay in the judicial process related to this issue, urging the Speaker's lawyer, Thaddeus Sorry, to take prompt action. He questioned the lawyer on why he had not submitted necessary documents for Speaker by stipulated deadline of October 30th. This is constitutional crisis. We are living in a country where Parliament is not sitting. What is going on? This is what the Chief Justice was saying. What is going on? The Chief Justice also directed Sorry to ensure that the required documents are filed by the end of business day on Thursday, October 31st, 2024. The Attorney General, Godfrey Odami, suggested that the Speaker should be excluded from the case, emphasizing that his office handles matters involving public matters and constitutional interpretation. What is your full take on that?
Sure, like you were saying, like you have just read, there's no constitutional crisis going on in the country. If there is any, then it is what do you call it? The Supreme Court that is bringing it. But as far as we know, there is no problem. They are trying to come and cause problem, but we know we don't have problem. Parliament doesn't have problem until the ruling government have decided to bring this kind of confusion. So there's nothing like constitutional crisis going on. They are trying to interfere in the business or the affairs of Parliament, of which they don't have the right to do that.
Okay.
I will say it. And Mami can assemble this man, Francis Tukono, which is the husband of Gertrude Tukono, is Akufo-Addo appointed him. Currently, he is the CEO of the Ghana Narcotic Drug Board, NARCO. Yeah. And also a board member of Ryoko. Okay. Yes.
And I think that is a conflict of interest.
That is conflict of interest. So what the wife is doing, it means they are all eating from the government.
Yeah.
It's conflict of interest. So, why can you go and rule something like this? That is where they are eating.
Yeah, within 2 hours.
The husband is eating from the government. She's also eating from the government. Because so really a unity appointing what? They are ruling 7-0 against NDC.
Yeah, 5-0.
They are appointing our Chief Justice. You are promoting to Chief Justice. Nikurusu da Narcotic Board, Akufo-Addo appointed as the CEO of Narcotic Board in Ghana. Akufo-Addo the second position. Yoko, the husband is serving under Yoko Board. All this every month to allowances. Yeah. Here is paid, here is taking allowances. So what do you expect the wife to do?
Yeah.
It means they are all in favor of the government.
Yeah, but I think that it's very bad. I think that it doesn't speak.
Rollins will never do something like this. Mahama will never do something like that. Under the Fourth Republic, none of the president will do something like this. You give your position, give position for your husband. So you are in the government, you are eating. So at the end of because someone will say so I was saying I'm here moto. Yeah. To call no get to Chief Judge. What was saying I'm here to. I didn't have a out. Who could Akufo-Addo appointed on Oman Ejuma and I want 2 different big positions that Okita or government. Also, we are now Chief Justice. In the idea in your crowd here, into the baby Gugana Fosso because of our fruity. I mean,
yeah, nothing said even. I think even
like you read all those stars, and you might be a course near and if you are buying and BAGBIN can say the presidency and the chief judiciary they have failed Ghanaians and they should bow down their heads in shame.
Yeah.
It is sanity.
Yeah, and I think that Chikata also came in, and Chika was saying, I think that, we all know, Chachu Chikata. He's one of the, renowned lawyers in Ghana, one of the astute lawyers in Ghana. And I think that he also did a presentation, I think, is it TV3? And he made mention, say, the speed at which the Supreme Court used to rule on the issue that was presented, it was not really good enough. It really doesn't speak well of them.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about saying, we're talking about a Supreme Court judge who was once a parliamentary candidate for the NPP.
Yes.
So if there are so many Supreme Court judges there, and you are trying to assemble only 5 Supreme Court judges, why can't you just look at the case? Even for people to even listen to you or to understand you, just table the case, review the case, and see if there's a conflict of interest. And that's what Achachukata was debating about, say, baby, the speed at which Omoya Nyomano, Ninginano, will say, no, it's like Wasma Okano. And yet, 7 years, the same year. And sometimes they want to use the Constitution to threaten you. But everybody knows what is in the Constitution. And we know that the Constitution
is not right. You see, one thing is that they are tarnishing the image of our country. Yes. Say a country. Every day, they don't believe in the chief judge, the judiciary. They don't believe. And they keep on worsening it every day.
Yeah. Now it has dropped. The trust has dropped almost about 35%.
They say, how do you take this into the Supreme Court? When you know you have to go to the High Court first. They went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled 5-0. You see, you keep on swelling the image of our judiciary. They know Ghana don't have judiciary now. If you come to the whole world, they know Ghana doesn't have judiciary. If you talk up and say, we don't have it. It's broken down. Yeah. And this government has spoiled everything, destroy economy, destroy the judiciary too as well. Every department has been destroyed by this government. Why?
Yeah.
That's why Ghanaians entering Ghana for 7th December is just at the corner. America for the and Nura, drama winning. The same thing you can sankofa and your boy and yenchi. Mahama noa sa government with the atrogun so and the moon who said, ye kase corruption and Mahama is an angel. Corruption na kromfona nkasa na wa bay mo mo say ye 2020 so almost omunko. This time around, Omu needs a chance and so you see easy any soldier for they are maintaining power for 8 years. We know they were voted out in 2020. Yeah. Do it again. This time with a big margin. Yeah. Forever. Let's kick this government out forever.
And I think
that will leave power and we'll never return it.
So what I'm saying,
when the slaves left Cape Coast, the shores of Cape Coast, and they never returned. They are now coming 400 years ago. Yeah. They are now coming back.
Oh, but just to interject, when I'm saying, according to reports, Ghanaians spent almost about 43% of their monthly budget on food alone. And when I'm saying US, in the US, the reason why Donald Trump winning, also was about the economy.
It was about the
because
economy.
Now the city has declined nearly 29% year up to date. Now the dollar is being sold at 17.25 to the dollar.
When this government was coming to power, they were riding the addition on the economy.
Yeah.
The economy was bad. The dollar was 3.9. And then they say it was bad. And they were coming to do it. Now today is 17. Who has done well? They would still come and tell you that they are the best. Look at that. You see this type of government, people that they can't speak the truth. The president and the vice president, when a gallon of petrol was 14 Ghana cedis, almost 80 Ghana a gallon. Almost still they have done the best.
Wow.
Yes, they are the best.
Wow.
Almost they are the best. Yes. 80 Ghana no, almost they are the best. And then for a sika nanka ye de to a gallon of petrol and the mama ye de to was just 1 liter per.
Wow.
1 liter. 14 Ghana cedi buys you just a liter. And the Mahama, you use 14 Ghana to buy a whole gallon. Almost say a nye, almost baby, almost better so, and they 80 Ghana a gallon. So what they are saying, inflation near 70%, 54, 53, and then you say 25, ni papa moi. No, goods and services are double, triple, quadruple under them. They will still tell you they are the best. And they can afford the just 100. Also, that one did not do a real coin what did back on one and the Mahama, they were able to eat 3 times. Mostly, and yet they were suffering. Today, Ghanaians are dying under you. And then you know, Chinamasa say institutions in our siding with you. Just a mutia omuka, omudisika, Gamanisika, Momuska, Tukoro, when Munas is our Manisika Momo, into Omuji, Guamutoma. They don't think about the country, but they think about their party. They are part, the one who appointed them and ruling nonsense for the country to swallow. And this is what is going on. Everything has been destroyed. And the economy, America voted based on the economy. The same thing should be replicated in Ghana.
Yeah.
Ghana, this election is what? It's about your welfare.
Yeah. It's about your welfare. It's about the economy. It's about the fundamentals.
It's about the fundamentals. For 8 years. Mahama time near some brena so na ye and nemu bremu and then the mumbre
yeah.
And to move far and no and to about almost Chelsea all right. When they bring the money, take it, it's from the state. They are going to share a lot of money. Election day no. When they bring it out, it is our money. Take it. Make sure MPP, I am saying it and mark it on the wall. MPP, they are not going to get more than 100 seats. They will not even get 101. The maximum they can get is 100 seats. Because they are Ashanti people, they are almost 87 crore, into 47 already. At least they can maintain some 40 seats from Ashanti. Normally, the whole country, it will peg that they can't go beyond 100. Omudi Sikano Ba, Munji, both the parliamentary and the presidential, Munji Sikani Dibaumia, Obeche Sika Galamse Sikana Eguo, or Mani Sikano Maboro, Akobo Busia 766 billion. Yeah, Uti 120 600 Bebrewa, or my packet good Baba Chamamu, Eddie Atomu vote. Don't let the Akufuado and Baumia buy your conscience. Use mu brain, Namu situation, Muom, Bramuom, Timamuom, say judiciary, Unya Sama Yen Kama, MPP near Yen Kama, Adia Baby go against the in favor of the ruling government. We are a second in our chama busia for a big pass here. The more accountability. If you want accountability, it is number 8 on the ballot box. John Mahama and the NDC. Mahama Ba, no Maba Betre and Yentia, Ubitinisa 48 million. Ekogunim passe, $5 million, Egunim passe, and conform we are a second in our stabilization for Modi Bibia, sinking fund, Yadinina. You borrow 13 billion from the Eurobond at the Abaye Mushi, toilet in a polytank pen on the battery. 760 billion I borrow the Nushi at the battery, toilet and polytank tank. Who call with social media, who I Baumianam or Quagbogrosia, you may see toilet among 36 unit toilet. Munni Amube Jari. Muni amube guarantee the polytank is you are near see toilet 33 unit toilet amamu. And then I 760 billion or maburu, but the Eurobond near Deno. And when move to Abanama Mahama no bar, Mahama catcher must say he's going to protect your boat. Near hold your moon account of Noma, Sati cannot imagine Nani Jesus Canina, Mahama, they are providing Monsieur, and they are providing hospitals. Cheap compound said you know Sikaka Krabia Mahama Nya, Sheduma the air, Tisaska way, Sika Baby Abom said Mahama Nyakakra or Musika have in Kagana to send New York, Mimiti, America, last month in Armenia 10 years. I've been living in New
Hey, and
York.
watch
Very
it.
good.
And watch
Very
it.
nice place. Yeah,
And watch it.
last month in Armenia 10 years. I've been living in a very nice place. But I'm thinking about what is going on in my country.
Yeah.
That's why I've been so passionate and I've been speaking for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Since I came here, I became a communicator.
Well, my mimisa we assemble so which is really bothering me. I think there's a serious accusation. It was leveled by one gospel musician, NPP supporter Nicholas Omani Echampong, has leveled some serious allegations against the National Democratic Congress. He has claimed that they are planning to incite chaos in the Ashanti region by burning major markets. In an interview on Wuntumi Radio, the singer stated that the NDC intends to hire individuals to set fire to markets such as Kejetia, Ashanti Mampong, and Agogo just 2 days before the elections. He argued that this tactic is aimed at disrupting voter turnout in the region. Now, the NDC is planning that when it's left with 2 days to election, they will hire some individuals to set fires on markets. This will diminish the enthusiasm for voting, leading to lower voter turnout in the Ashanti region, which they hope will help them win the election. Nicholas Omane Champong is among several Ghanaians, celebrities publicly supporting the new patriarchy plan. Do you think that it's really like logic for a human being to level allegations at their two party so wabra on show any proof? And if you have any proof, this issue should have been reported to the police for the necessary action to be taken. Unreported, he's sitting on a propaganda radio station. Won't to me and no make it. Don't you think says Sunday we are all Senipa boni nibi ekoye bibi etisa na akwes na asemo kan no abem. Se oyo ono ankasa mpo se ono anko ni nipa na. And what is the police doing? My question is saying, what are the police doing? Because say obi remember the issue of Shatawale saying Osofobia Professor Isobewu into Asuwewu. Yes, he has caused fear and panic. Shatawale and Medical, they were arrested, put in jail for like a week, and some identity and as such a person makes such remarks. Say, and I say IGP, he has been crippled, and because now they have a deputy.
All that they are doing, like the Chief Justice and people are doing the Supreme Court, the same thing. They can sit anywhere and say anything because some are their federal government, what they say.
Yeah.
It will be calling for say be arrested and be betray mu by the unya asai what to be a friend. Yeah, and I say more okay. Every election be a ade omoye. Almost said I compare January to man
but it's dangerous. It's very it's very dangerous.
You know these people they can do anything.
Why should we even think about market building? Say
NDC for no SCC market, market na until they see that they create anything and put it on the
I think that's a very good point.
Okay.
That's a good point.
People will not come out.
It doesn't make no sense. And this person is a gospel musician.
You know that man, that guy, forget about him. Why okotra baby no yes ana nkofo yi ne to ni esere Into man no asako fa dey fufro. What they say? His own what do you call it? Kumasi artist from say Kumawu for
yeah.
So wakodi ya sika ordinary fru nenam. Say sika no mama nti ro yesa.
Yeah.
Or start to TV news or to okra no kasa tim say asema okano is out of place. But you still be laying emphasis on this.
But I feel that it's immature. I think it's immature to live in a country and trying to sabotage the country.
Forget about
and pushing the blame on a different person. Yo.
And say MPP for marketing NDC for that's what they do.
Well, my final question to you is Papa oni ato forcing omu charge omu ewo sa ambulance issue no what is the name?
Japa.
Yeah, Richard. Yeah, thank you very much, Richard Jakpa. I think that he also came out. I think he's on TV3 to level allegations against the Electoral Commission. Say the place now, omo air printing no, they allow only like every party no, they allow only one member to be there, and that member no is printing. Like omo making sure say omo print here we omo echo stack edebeshe box mu ebeshe no ni nyina no is only one person, but in the same place no they have the NID, they have two they have two personnel of the NID, and I think two personnel of the I think the national security. Into basically no you have 4 people, and every party no is just a single person. For that single person to be in that room from morning till evening as they are printing, send it to different locations. It's almost about 3 different or 4 different locations, and it's the same person moving back and forth. Time of take a break, He was level allegation say whatever is going on, he really don't understand, because it will be very difficult for you to be able to monitor like the printing, like what is really going on. And also no also dream one. What is your take? Say, I didn't see and say yeah printed a ballot papers. Why can't they put like 2 people? At least back person could take a break and a lunch crampona. There will be another person there monitoring. And I say it become easy for one person to move back and forth. I didn't see and at the East, they are making things so complicated. Because over the US has say now, regardless, 2020 there was an issue with the January 6th. This election, yesterday I went and I voted. They check your name. You go to the next person. Normally, if I'm saying ballot papers at the amount, you go to the booth, go and take your listing, present it. It was very smooth. There was nothing. And within 12 hours or 14 hours to 16 hours, a leader has been projected. I didn't think a year with the EC, the ballot papers, it's becoming so complicated, which is trying to, throw the country into chaos. What is your take on this allegation that
he raised that concern. Mr. Mahu said they are even trying to print with the Eastern and Ashanti region. They are printing more about 300,000 different extra papers for every constituency.
For what reason?
Imagine, yes.
Yeah, for what reason?
I don't know. And it's the same Japa who raised that concern too. Like what you are saying right now. So that whatever they are going to use it for, we don't know. So if they should print, so Ashanti region alone is having 47 constituencies. So if they should print 300,000 for extra for each constituency in Ashanti alone, 300,000 by 47, you're saying, then you multiply by Eastern region too, and they are doing that in the Eastern region and Ashanti. So already they can use this to rig the election. So they are saying, and this is what Japa have alluded to this that is going on.
Yeah, so 347 is approximately 14,100.
Aha. So they are saying, and that is a lot of a significant figure to maintain the election down. So they are saying, and this is what the secret. This is what they brought out. So these people like Yeka is now some all the time, and Kofobeka say they don't want to give this a free and fair.
They just don't want to be transparent. I think transparency is the word.
They don't want
there must be transparency.
You don't want to let it that transparency. They don't want it to come. So they are doing things haphazardly among themselves. What they can do, they want to make things so that things will be fishy. You understand? That is what they have been doing as soon as they took over. And yes, I know me.
Yeah.
Through IPAC and to everything, the same thing. Young papers are printing extra. Yes, stamp pushes after 2020 election. One go baby. I stamp MPP. I didn't know some printing 8 candidates. I was in Ameboa. all the political parties. By the way, they are printing MPP Kufuor and they are stamped to be brave after the election.
I think it's an allegation. Your final words. Your final words.
My final words is that Ghana, we are at the crossroad now.
Yes.
We are at the crossroad and lie, and we need to rescue our country.
Yes.
The time to rescue our country is now. In 2016, Mustafa Hamid was moving out through radio stations shouting that we have to rescue our country. Ghana was not bad like this.
Yeah.
Ghana was not in a terrible state like this. Ghana was not in a fragment like this. Things were not falling apart like this. Ghana was not completely in a disarray like this. Today, we have rather come to the crossroads where Ghana is in completely disarray, in tatters. Things are broken down and the center cannot hold.
Yeah.
Things are falling apart. And this is the time to rescue our country.
Yeah, things fall apart.
So let all things fall apart and the center can hold. Let's all rise up. The youth of our country, including the elderly. Let's all come together. All hands should be on deck. So that come 7th December, we rescue our country from Akufo-Addo and Bawumia's government. This government has been completely a false government, a useless government, a government, an excommunicated government, a government that has not performed, a non-performing government ever in the history of Ghana. They have stolen everything from us. They have stolen all our money, stolen all our properties and everything, and destroyed all institutions in the country. And Ghana needs a reset. And the reset means that we have to rescue the country first. When we rescue the country through by voting them out so that they will go and come no more. This government is going and come no more. That is what we have to do.
Thank
to
you.
them. So let all Ghanaians, Ghana phone in our sorry, 7th December, wow, starting now, card. I can't say 1 month, look for your card. Every day, go and look at where your card is and say hello to your card. Hello to your card so that you don't miss it. Yen sorry waka. Na 7th December, yen ko to abanti asa aban we ye wu bi da. Na mo ba na Akufo-Addo so be protecting public purse. Protecting public purse in here, we no more we are sika nyina. The Japan or see this government have stolen everything like never before. Somewhere, I'm quoting what Kennedy Japan, a ruling member of the government, or see this government have stolen our monies and stacked them in abroad like never before. From the presidency to Goro Boy, all the appointees, every member, constituency secretaries, every member of the people, and then your desktop are rising from 120 to 760 billion.
Yeah.
And then your Ghana Nibia they cut 24,000 Ghana cedis.
Make a one.
Okay, who be? No, so make a who be. Who are Kalafu for you or Ghana? Okay, who be? Obano, who are Nebata only 24,000, Mrs. Amir, 24,000. Mahama time in 4,000, and can't hear the no chama in 4,000 each, almost a year, and anything into a 24. 4,000 in 24, the end. Mammy from Uncle Baby so Kakra. Mahama time, no, during auditor's report, Sika na ira 3.5 billion in 8 years. Mahama Atama's government, 3.5 naira for auditors report. According to corruption. Minka say you, but and then 40 billion, 36, and then 40 billion. And naira within a period of 8 years. Do you know what 40 billion can do to our country?
Yeah.
The roads, schools, cheap compounds, every provide nina go mubotum. Omaya kesia, galamse sikankahu. Sika omaboro nkahu, any ade. It is idea where you be when you be that. There is some kind of corruption in their government, but not like this. This is unprecedented corruption. This government in the achievement, the government of ISO be boyen, or no be queen say government by so be boyen. The only achievement of more stealing looting from the public purse and breeding of corruption. And no pen a your achievement. Omo niche, but maybe Baby Jones or 33 poly, or niche a chronunqua, but me and my GPS a basso. And my you lose 190 million. Yes, Omunfa. Bank guarantee by or some insurance, but we a change bank guarantee to insurance so that those criminals baba any they can owe our electricity. But we a GPS of over $2.5 million. GPS a free America code no. But we are Tom Ghana $2.5 million. But we so what they say, enti na Akufo-Addo PDS Ameri Akufo-Addo ni Boachaja kun inflated figure no from 550 to 1.2 billion, which is $800 million. And omu inflate and only Boachaja kun omu ko che di kwa. Ye bisa no say I was misled. Why they misled na? Say na di achire na Boachaja kun ba hu say Gabi Ochredako. The Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister.
On Eddie, bigger no course, Eddie Akufo-Addo so one sign. It is Akufo-Addo, so he was misled. He was misled by Gabriel Tidako, no one the WOFA. And Omudifa, who ye, Boachaja Akufri Nabam say, or Brotra Benuma, Naba and Bebu. Meanwhile, Boachaja Akuso, ye, Tata, or catchers or Beccasan or Kana, Lutuman, and say, I know my own say, why Gabriel Tidako, first Africano.
Yeah, the Prime Minister.
510 almost in the boy no. And until Omuko Dubai, so Muko review, Echo G, change the Gu Omuko Mube no Mube so called 1.2 billion, $800 million. Do you know why $800 million can do? But Umiaka Tre say, oh no, Tama Mahama borrow 60 billion or think 30, we need just 33 billion. There wouldn't be any water problem and toilet problem the whole country. Yes, about Umiaka. And then COVID in Kwama 33 billion, Oma Dinina, Sikanso borrow 760, 120, 660 billion, Oma Dinina, Chinga, and the tutor will be so my toilet in a polytank. Mahama borrow just a few, no. 120 nina kwa nyane die.
Yeah, no, both Atamils and all the debt together was 120.
They count. What you say? Yeah. And so Betima the Temela which is the best in the whole West Africa. Yeah. All cocoa rose.
Yeah.
All 200 seconds.
And if you want to go to Kumasi, all the markets in Kumasi was NDC.
Yeah, and now Takura they port expansion. The port expansion, Koshe Juma Elkretiaguo, and to various cheap compounds scattered all over the country.
And Amerino.
Amerino,
yeah,
and Kumasi Central Market, cheap Kumasi Airport, Tamale Airport. Airport, all these monies were built from the 120 billion.
Yeah.
And no be borrow so much, Omutini for the toilet and toiletan.
Yeah.
And Baomiano Omudina Banom Pesa Baomia Kata, Omo Baomia Winnie, and not just Oma stay, not just Oma for Mumadi forever.
Yeah.
Muntu Abanintia, Oma Beche Musika, Oma Piesica, election the Oma Chesica, Oma Shasi Poche, Omocha, Omudiscan, Bamunji, Omo Musica, Namututia Omo. Omo de mama mon promise omo beto mo gidi wi anama koto ati omo na mo ma margin ye big because the EC is ready to rig to better coin this will be mama omo ti mo ma margin ye kese ti EC no ntimi wiem ontimi wiem ane say he has no alternative to declare Mahama the winner. Sana say ye de omo ne pam o ma sikura na sa ban we de aban kanka aban fun krono aban de dirimu.
Medasi.
Ghana, Mahama, Emra, near reset Ghana, no for 24-hour economy, 24-hour economy, edit day, Ahunta, Ahunya Beba, Eddie Juma, Beba, Juma, Medasi, Sika, revenue bed, when you are Shasi, Akufo-Addo, Kana,
Medasi,
and now Muntio Mokau, Medimanusi. Omuntu omukaba Mahama ba 24-hour economy no your revenue be double na Mahama start here to Canada na Canada hono we need about 30 years to pay that debt. It will take only John Mahama to come with the 24-hour economy so that we can start paying those debt. And yes, Ghana, say Mahama we need election year of which I know that nothing can change it. And then just say Ghana, you need Ghana view. If this government we need and that just say Ghana is forever doomed. of which I know it will not happen. Sorry,
Yeah.
John Mahama number 8 on the ballot paper. Near reset Ghana, not Ghana and San working again like it used to be in 2016 before he left government.
Medase Ofayao. It's here for Papa Yatin in Kano, a NDC officer in New York, and Dean a Ofayao. You know, he has a very deep knowledge in politics, and whatever he really put out is nothing but the facts. You want to make sure you Jumadian Abe a year November the 7th, Parliament in Ghana will reconvene, and whatever report that comes out in the evening will also give you a tidbit about it. And don't forget, say, subscribe. It's always nice for you to comment so that say Bibina you want us to add that. And as I also watch the wording, because maybe you have chances also be basso. Now also watch the wording, share. Now, just encourage people also to subscribe. A YouTuber here building. Try as much as you can to subscribe. Mia Ote Minkana, Mia Midi, Ochiami, and the Midindi MC Osoja, Ewo, New York Hasi. Thank you so much, and definitely we'll get in touch. We are always keeping it for real. Bibia can be we personally I speak as a concerned person, as a concerned citizen. I always try as much as I can to be an open-minded and come out with a real talk. Thank you. And until we meet again, say bye. Bye. Thank you.